Now, show business stories are big business, particularly when a celebrity has a meltdown. Britney Spears had a very public one. The resulting Britney economy is said to be worth £60 million a year to photographers, magazines and lawyers.
But one gossip website called Holy Moly says it will no longer publish photos taken in an aggressive scrum situation or by photographers chasing stars in their cars. Let's take a look at some of the images that prompted that rethink, and inevitably there are camera flashes throughout it.
Everybody's talking all this stuff about me. Why don't they just let me live? I don't need permission, make my own decisions. That's my prerogative. That's my prerogative. It's my prerogative.
Gosh, OK, so will those pictures make other magazines and websites think twice about using paparazzi shots?
Well, joining us in the studio, Mark Bulkowski, head of his own PR agency, and the show business reporter, Ashley Pearson. Good morning to you both. Well, however well known they are, at least one outfit has decided it's going to back off a little bit, which must be good news.
Well, yes, in a way it is. I mean, this situation has really gotten out of control. There have been high-speed chases, there have been car accidents, there have been all kinds of problems with the fact that these people are allowed to stalk celebrities. However, I would like to say that in footage that we just saw with Britney Spears, in that case, it is absolutely 100% Britney's own fault. She calls these guys, she tells them where she's going to be, she doesn't make a move without them, and then she turns around and says, I hate having my picture taken all the time.
Is that the truth of the matter, Mark, that those celebrities that will court it, those that will phone photographers, will end up with the sort of scrums we see, whereas others just will be left alone? Or are the paparazzi out of hand sometimes?
I think there are certain celebrities that enjoy the three-ring circus. There are certain celebrities that are identified themselves with their own fame. They need that fame, they lust for that fame. Let's face it, a photo grabbed in this situation can be worth a hell of a lot. Of money.
How much?
Oh, gosh, what it is. I mean,
depends what it is.
It depends what it is.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Right,
What? I mean, a photograph with the same picture taken by a dozen other people in a scrum.
Well, no, you don't want that.
Range,
that isn't going to be. That isn't going to be the photo is going to value. Right. An exclusive photo, but getting a snap that no one else has got. There's a decrease really in sales. Holy Moly, interesting showbiz pop site, fairly scurrilous, doesn't use a lot of photos admittedly, but if you're a major magazine in the world, in People magazine in the US or whatever, you get that picture. It's about circulation. People are going to pick up that magazine to get it, so that's where the value is, and those guys are bounty hunters. That's a modern equivalent to this whole sort of thing. And it is this game that actually when you want to switch off the media, you can't. So going back to your original point, is can people get away from it? Yes, of course they can. They can leave by the kitchen exit. They can get away whichever way they choose. Privacy is achievable if you really want it. It's difficult, but it's achievable.
Is it? Because in LA, haven't they suggested that some celebrities need to be almost ring-fenced? There needs to be an exclusion zone. That's been recently suggested, hasn't it?
They're calling it the Britney bubble, and basically they're saying, you know, we want to have a certain amount of distance between the celebrity and the photographer. They shouldn't be able to approach. There may even be something that goes into legislation where celebrities have to sign some kind of waiver to get their picture taken in certain circumstances. I do think there needs to be some legislation to protect these people on the streets. But what's unfortunate is that some celebrities have really courted this to the degree and turned it into the circus, the absolute mayhem that we see right now. People like Britney, Paris, Lindsay, they regularly call these photographers because they need and want to stay in the magazines.
And what about people that don't? Do they deserve this sort of treatment, Mark?
No, they don't to a certain extent, but that's why you've got to have good teams around you. You've got to think very carefully what you do. When you've grabbed fame, it is very difficult to escape for it. You know, you are in the limelight. The media feel they have ownership of you, and if you're in trouble and it is something that is what you perhaps wouldn't want to be, you can't escape for it, and that is hurtful.
Do you have clients? Do you help clients who are being pursued by the paparazzi? What do you do with them, so to speak?
It's difficult. You've got to have safe houses. You've got to think about
safe houses.
Yeah, if you're in really big trouble, you've got to get somebody away. You've got to have private air. You've got to be able to leave the country.
How often have you done that?
A few times.
Really?
Yeah.
What, you go and just hide them away for how long?
How long? until you can actually either sort out a deal.
So the fact that you have to need to do that is just extraordinary itself. I mean, do you think that there will come a time when there will be some magazines that will follow Holy Moly's line and say, actually, no, we're going to back off as well?
Absolutely. And the way it will happen is celebrities will join together and they will say, we won't do any more interviews with this publication if you continue to use paparazzi photos. That kind of thing has started in the past. That's worked in the past. That's the only thing that will shut this down. And I think it absolutely will happen in the future.
Really? Do you think it's going to work, Mark?
No, it's not. I mean, at the end of the day, as a publicist, this is a fantastic publicity stunt. We're talking about Holy Moly now. They don't use a lot of photos. It's a war to get coverage online. I applaud them for what it is. They brought this argument out. It's not that. It's not, you know, we've been talking about this, Ashley and I have talked about this before. You know, it's a great PR stunt to talk about Holy Moly. That's the bottom line of this, really.
Yeah.
Thank you both very much.
The world. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.